Hey guys, quick break. In addition to the first MPO feature card, we are also producing the second MPO feature card this week and next week in Krakow. The full rounds will be available through our YouTube Premium subscription. If you want to support us and also enjoy some more content, go check it out.
Hello disc golf enthusiasts from around the world and welcome back to MDG Media. We are excited to be bringing you this final Front 9 MPO lead card coverage of the 2025 PCS Open here in Øverås, Norway. We have an incredible lead card for you. The weather is perfect scoring conditions. I am Connor Wood and with me, Mr. Elias Luukkonen.
What's up, Connor? What's up, viewers? Welcome to this beautiful final round coverage from MDG Media. We are excited and I hope you are excited as we have the first European Elite Series event where we have pretty much all of the American field. We did have a couple of earlier Elite Series events this year, but now we have all of the good Americans, including first on the tee, Adam Hammes. Good forehand player, good backhand player, and especially a good putter, as we have seen in the round past. This is going to help him on this course, which offers a lot of birdie opportunities.
You mentioned good putters, Mr. Gannon Buhr joining us on the lead card. Incredible, well-rounded player, highest rated player in the world right now. Many consider him to be the best currently. We can see if he can prove that here today.
And yes, Nieminen, one of the more accurate forehand players in the world. His backhand is also getting there. He is very solid on the backhand, especially on the forehand, and the fourth guy on the card,
Big
Anthony
boomer
Barela.
off the tee, Mr. Anthony Barela. We saw him on the chain reaction episode. He likes to throw bombs when he can find it on the green as well. He is unstoppable.
Hole number one is gonna play really good for a forehand, which is a shot all of the players on our card definitely have. 124 meters, actually playing a little bit shorter as we're playing a little bit downhill, and in this final round we have a strong left to right wind. So if you expose your forehand hyzer, if you expose the flight plate of your disc with that forehand hyzer to the left to right wind, the hole is gonna play even shorter than with no wind. And I'd say a lot of the players are actually not trying to exactly park the basket, but stay a little bit right.
From Minocqua, Wisconsin, US, Team Discgolf, one victory this season, Diskgolf Pro Tour, 18 under. Give it up for Adam Hammes.
Adam was our leader since round one, shooting a 10 under hot round in the first day. He is still your leader coming into this third and final round, looking for a wire-to-wire performance. An incredible feat here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, proof of consistency at the highest level.
And as our announcer said, already has one win this season at the Waco Annual Charity Open. He's going to be short right, a very safe shot, not really a putt for birdie.
Iowa, US, Team Discmania, 3 victories this season. Make some noise for Gannon Buhr.
Gannon coming into this event with a 1058 PDGA rating. I mentioned it earlier, it's the highest currently in the world. And for that reason, he is expected to do great things this weekend.
Getting a very unfortunate break, hitting the rock at the edge of the circle, rolling to outside. Very crisp shot though.
Finland, Team Costa Plus, 16 under. Clap your hands for Jesse Nieminen.
player that might not show that much emotion on the course as far as facial expression, but playing with some fierce talent. His forehand is incredibly accurate, and this whole one is really good for Jesse. As you can see, pushing it not very wide, rather inside, and look at the shot. Unfortunate roll at the green though, but he's gonna settle down there inside the circle. Great drive to start off.
From Mesa, Arizona, US, Team Discraft, 1 victory this season, 15 under. Give it up for AB Anthony Barela.
Anthony, currently the undisputed farthest thrower in the world, at least on the course. And you'll see him put that to full effect on a few of these holes here. Both backhand and forehand incredibly capable in both power and accuracy. Rounding out our lead card. This one a little bit lower, significant hyzer angle and a bullet to the basket. Some unfriendly ground play, but a very nice line that would most often get him closer than that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the holes on this course offer some thick grass, which isn't super tall, but somehow the skips are not that big, especially since we had some rain early on in the week. This hole number 1 offering a scary green as well. These outside the circle looks are not easy to run with full effort.
And we see from both Gannon and Adam tentative looks. Effectively half bids. Anthony close enough for the full bid, but also low. We see a tailwind indicated by that flag, most commonly dropping the disc. Jesse now from down the hill rather, looking up. And none of these lead card players able to net the birdie here on hole 1.
Very surprising with everybody on the card having effective forehands who can easily reach the hole. And a bit of a nervous start from the lead card here. It's a big event. It's the biggest event overseas that they have played this year. Actually, for a lot of the American players, this is going to be the first event of the year on the side of Europe.
They will continue to hole 2, a 104-meter left-to-right sloping par 3, also notably uphill throughout the entire fairway, plays closer to around 115 meters in distance. You have OB lining long as well as to the left and right once you get up to the green. Shapes most naturally for a backhand turnover with some late stability, and because of that slope, a lot of players will naturally throw towards the rock wall, ensuring they don't go over it towards the OB but rather fade into it and bounce back towards the green. That is the safest way to play this hole reliably. We go first to Adam, still retaining the box with the par frame.
Going for the turnover shot. Needs to miss 1 tree right there. Doesn't quite do it. That is, the tree that he hit is actually a great aiming point on this hole. You'd like to see your disc moving right just in front of that tree with the backhand anhyzer. And hitting the tree is usually a sign of a good but not perfect shot.
Gannon absolutely dissecting the fairway. Friendly slowdown to the green. Jesse, known as a forehand specialist, but has proven in recent years to also have an incredible backhand, has worked hard to round out his game, and this hole particularly plays dangerous for the forehand because of that left to right slope. We see him with a very safe shot, and certainly not the line he was intending there, with little to no rightwards movement. We go now to Anthony.
Anthony, definitely a player who has 2 different throwing forms or throwing speeds. He likes these slowly thrown, for his arm speed, slowly thrown fairway driver, even distance driver shots like he did there. Shot is very good, but when he goes to more open holes, we're gonna see his full power style, which is very interesting, much faster than these slow control shots like he did right here. As you can see from Jesse's position, not much of running the basket, just trying to get close and get up and down for the par.
Adam at a range where I would expect another half bid similar to hole 1. That one very safe on the left side. Anthony looking back at the basket from long, just inside the circle. Nicely done to secure the first birdie for our lead card here on hole number 2.
Hole number 2, which actually averages surprisingly compared to the previous rounds. Averages as the easiest hole on the course with an average of 2.69. A lot of people, 39% of the field actually are getting the birdie on this one. Lead card players know that they have to be firing on all cylinders on the front nine to keep pace with the top of the field just behind them, as the front nine is playing mostly under par on almost every hole. Not on this one though, as hole number 3 playing above par, one of the more difficult holes on the course, 123 meters. It's gonna be a dead straight shot. You do have a slight bit of space on both right and left side if you want to shape a bit of a hyzer flip or a turnover shot. The most important thing here though is that you don't turn over your drive to the right early, because the right side OB comes into play very quickly. Just throw something straight. If you need to miss, rather miss towards the left side than the right side. And anything inside the circle, even inside of circle 2, is going to be a great result on this hole.
If you've watched Gannon Buhr, you're familiar with this disc. He throws it a lot, but a very errant early release. Elias mentioned that is the side to make the mistake towards, but that one having a very abrupt end to the flight, only about halfway down the fairway. Anthony as well, leaning well to the left side, and that is a common aiming point, but surprising to see neither of them get any sort of turn on the disc. Adam opting for the forehand. This can work well, assuming that it has only some late in the flight rightwards movement, as that right OB does end after about 90 to 100 meters. And a beautiful flight there that kicks off the tree. That was heading right at the chains.
I'd say seeing a forehand on this hole is definitely a sign of a forehand dominant player, as the shape of the fairway favors a backhand straight shot, as you have more spin and more ability to manipulate the disc to be going perfectly dead straight. But yes, also more of a forehand dominant player there. He's gonna have a tester putt for par there. Not exactly what you want to have on any hole, but if you want to choose a hole where you have a tester putt for par, this is not a bad option for that.
Gannon slides on up into striking range as well. Both of them from early left. Anthony in a similar position but slightly closer. And that is thrown long and right. That will be a dangerously long putt considering it's for par. We go first to Jesse.
Not committed there on the putt. It's difficult to commit on this hole as the green is just slightly elevated. So if you miss your putt, you're going to have a longer comebacker than usual. That's not going to be the case for AB though, as he's going to be in solid start. I'd say 1 under through 3. That's the score that most good players in the tournament are somewhat satisfied with. Not ecstatic, but just somewhat satisfied.
See a series of good par saves. Going to Adam next for the birdie to keep pace with AB and Gannon at 1 under through 3 mark, and he is able to capitalize on that, maintain that 1-stroke lead over Gannon. And yes, they are lone European, also the lone bogey here on hole 3.
It's so easy to get started, and when you get the bug, you just keep going, and it's so much fun.
Disc golf is a great game to get out, increase your activity level, enjoy the outdoors, and have a great time.
It's a really easy sport to get into, so just grab a disc and come out and play.
No matter your age or skill, there's a place for you out on the disc golf course.
So come on out and throw your best.
We continue now to hole 4. This 99-meter par 3 offers you a gap to hit and an initial tunnel to break through. A lot of players, very similarly to hole 3, will ensure that if they have a mistake, it will be towards the left side. Anything short or to the right will most likely contend with this OB pond and rock wall. As a result, a lot of players will either go significantly left or ensure that they're going long of the pin to avoid really that only mistake of being right and short. This is a very attackable birdie hole though. The biggest priority has to be to hit the initial gap with enough height and speed to crest over the rocks.
It is going to be very interesting to see which type of discs the player chooses to throw on this hole. Adam looks like going with a fairway driver and pulls it badly to the right, opening the door for the rest of the car to get a stroke on him. On a hole that is not particularly difficult, a lot of the field is getting a birdie. 37% birdies on this hole, 49% par. Very rare to see anything worse than a par, and our first two players really out of position for even a run at the basket.
AB as well. We have 0 for 3 gap hits initially. I would expect Jesse. Interesting to see him leaning to the forehand. You really need to end to the left, so this is likely going to be something on a hyzer release with a late flip, maybe a flex flat release right out of the hand, as we see there. But he is contending quite unnecessarily with the left side, but does get through up to a putt.
And if I said the last hole, or going with forehand on the last hole is a sign of a forehand specialist, this hole is even not a sign of a forehand specialist, but a person who avoids throwing backhands. I think Jesse feels much more comfortable with that forehand hitting gaps. As we see a couple of approaches. Adam had a solid approach, and Gannon putting from about 40 meters away. A lot of spin on that release of hairs.
And very casual, I believe not even a step or jump on that putt approach from 40 meters. AB stabbing one out from the woods, gets just outside bullseye. Jesse for the birdie look, a bounce back opportunity for him. And that is punishing as he rolls his way to out of bounds. Will get his meter from the top of the rock wall. Left with this for another bogey look.
Brutal bogey to take in the situation of the final round. Jesse's 2 over par through 4. Has a lot of work to do in order to catch up with the field that is chasing just behind him. And while the weather is really nice for disc golf, the winds are actually up compared to round 2, so the scoring is going to be more difficult than in round 2 or even round 1 in this event. And these players know that they might not have to shoot as hot of rounds as in the rounds past. As we're moving on to hole number 5, even with the heavier winds, this hole is going to be one that you have to birdie in order to keep pace. Just 89 meters through a triple mando, the gates of Valhalla, the signature hole of the course. Need to hit something over the rocks just below the mando, hopefully hit the ground 15, even 20 meters before the basket. Slide your way up there with a nice little flat shot. Avoid going long as there's that OB long looming just 12 meters long of the basket. A lot of players have been throwing this shot very hard, even unnecessarily hard. So we would really like to see these players get the nose down, hit the ground before the basket to avoid going long.
And a misrelease. Fortunate to not go long of the mando. You see the pressure on him there as he takes a moment to compose himself. You can actually use the code Gates of Valhalla on the mdgmedia.eu/shop for 33% off purchase on discs. The first person to use that code will be able to redeem it. Gannon Buhr there gets a kick off the rock to parked, but missed the mando on the left side. will proceed to one of 2 drop zones, as is his free will to choose.
Anthony backhand putter, conventional play on this hole, and there you go. Perfect speed control, perfect nose control, that's what you want on this one. Let's see if Jesse can match that with the forehand. His forehand is perfectly suited for this hole, but that's too high off the gap. Scared of going OB long, and that's unfortunately gonna be the case. Very commonly we see that, especially with the forehand, that people just get the nose a little bit too high up in the air, and the OB long is very easy to reach with a shot like this.
Adam straddling for maximum width, placing a simple hyzer putt approach around the sword. Gannon here opting for the right side drop zone. This is circle 2 downhill and absolutely drains it for par. You would not believe it. Stone Cold Iceman strikes again here from the drop zone.
You might not believe it. I'm sure the man himself will believe it, even expect it. I will put him up there as one of the better C2 putters in the world. And the highest rating in the entire world would be a confirmation of that, as well as Jesse has an important putt here to save par from circle 2, and he has not done it. That's going to be the 3rd bogey in a row. Pretty much a nightmare start for Jesse on this front 9.
He is rapidly falling behind his lead card. Just like that, falls to 13 under. Another birdie opportunity though here, hole 6, a 208 meter par 4. This initial tee shot playing is a straight to hyzer fading shot to the left. You ideally want to throw something far, quite high, allowing the disc to fade out. The further left you can fade, the more it opens up your gap into the green. If you're too short or too far right, you will have to play over these trees, over the pond, over Page's path, into the green with a spike forehand hyzer. There are few other options if you're not in the perfect position off the tee. However, given that there are a variety of ways to find yourself on the green in 2, it is certainly a hole that you can attack for birdie from almost anywhere, assuming that your tee shot is in bounds and a reasonable distance. Speaking of distance, Anthony, this is very inside and very hyzer, but a fortunate save by that tree to keep him in bounds.
I'm not sure if that disc was going to be OB left, but it for sure was definitely challenging that OB line on that left side. And Conor, that was a good call on the hole being birdieable from almost anywhere, as it is the most birdied hole on the course at 43% birdies for the field. Both AB and Adam are definitely in position to throw that over the top hyzer forehand. And I feel like sometimes it doesn't even matter if you're a little bit longer or shorter on this hole. Even if you throw the perfect drive and have a straight forehand look, it might not be easier than the over the top forehand. And Gannon there, even though he's on the right side of the fairway, still gonna have that spike hyzer look.
And finally, we see a hole which gets Jesse to throw the backhand tee shot, and it's pretty alright. It's definitely not great. It's pushed too far to the right and pinching his angle. He will have no choice but to go up and over, but we know he's comfortable with the forehand. Gannon dropping to a knee even here. Curious to see his motivation on that. He brings it up off the ground even and just goes to a squat. That ceiling directly in front of him, forcing the awkward stance. And he is Splash City. He's found the pond and will be putting from deep circle 2 on the early side over the water for a potential par save. Not the result he was looking for, but took a risk from an out of position tee shot.
You can see AB seeing nothing but sky above the trees. He has pulled this too wide though. This is in danger of going to the water, and he has done it as well. A common yet easy to mistake to avoid. You have to put this forehand a little bit more inside, a little bit higher than you would think. Very easy to go long and left. Let's see if Adam makes the correction. His looks a little bit higher. Let's hope it's not too far past, and there you go. Just 7 meters left for the birdie.
ESA, the most pinched on the right, is going to have to get this super spiked and comes in beautifully. Great navigation there from an awkward position, looking to get his first birdie of the round with that short putt from about 6 meters. AB for par over the pond.
Anybody see like what happened to mine, like where it went in?
A single word coming out of AB's mouth, suggesting he's not pleased with that bogey coming up. And Gannon, can he make another big putt? Yes, he can.
Legendary C2 putter Gannon Buhr putting on a show. Holes 5 and 6. He's unstoppable from range. Just a flick of the wrist, a flat release. The height is there, the aim is there, and the chains are there. Beautiful display of his putting prowess.
Somehow keeping it all together, even though he's not driving this great right now. The putt saving so many strokes. As Adam Hammes, it's looking like he's the most in control out of this lead card. Nobody has a hot start, so they're definitely giving the chase card, even the third card, a chance. And we know a lot of players behind are pushing. This event is the most prestigious so far in Europe, possibly just behind the European Championships played last week. An elite series on Norwegian soil. It's not something that you see every week of the season.
ESA has found the green on his scorecard now here on hole 6, with the rest of them losing at least 1 stroke to ESA, if not 2.
Hey guys, quick break. We just dropped our brand new 2025 MDG Media Tour clothing collection, which is now available on our online shop. You will find fresh apparel and a full lineup of discs. If you like what we do, if you want to support the project, this is the best way. See you on the website and enjoy the video.
We are moving on into the woods. Few of the next holes are gonna be played more on wooden terrain compared to open. This one being a short par 4, only 170 meters. Drive plays great for a straight hyzer to flip backhand or a big flex forehand. I'd say the flex forehand has more distance potential, but backhand usually puts you in good enough position for the birdie. Second shot is usually just a pitch around the corner. Don't need to do anything extraordinary on this hole, but any shot that is off the fairway is usually giving you a tough time for birdie. I'd say it's not a hole that any of these players expect to bogey, even with a bad shot, but the birdie is not guaranteed.
I would absolutely agree that if you have 2 shots in the fairway, birdie will come. That bleeds out a little bit early to the right, but I think enough distance to still give him a chance. ESA able to lean on the forehand once again. The most common shape being a flex that is overturned and very early. From that position, I would say not enough progress for birdie to be in play unless he's able to do something miraculous.
Which honestly, this hole does give you a chance to do something miraculous. Even if you're very short, you can go over the top, you can go for a spike hyzer turnover shot over the trees. As Gannon there, slightly on the right side. Definitely a chance for birdie though. I'd say if you want to miss, it doesn't really matter if you miss left like AB did or right as Gannon did. Usually still have some sort of a shot at the basket. Only way you make this hole difficult is doing what Jesse did, so hit some trees early. And even from here, he's trying to go for the basket, and a C2 look very respectable from his position.
No doubt, being only 170 meters, he only really got about 40 off the tee, another 110 or 20 from that drive there. AB playing it the most traditional way, fades out to the left on the tee, has the straight hyzer into the green, great control of the speed and edge there to get that skip back towards the basket. Being elevated, you'd like to get as close as possible. Adam, not able to manufacture a reasonable birdie look, gets caught up trying to weave his way through the gaps had a very precise line that he needed to hit as a result of not being on the fairway. Gannon, however, fortunate to be wide open to the green.
And the touch is there, beautiful angle control there. There's that OB on the right, which could scare some of the players, but our lead card players know well enough to throw slightly more overstable disc compared to an understable or straight one to avoid that right side OB. As Adam Hammes, he's gonna continue his clean yet slightly slow of a start.
Yes, able to put together 2 in a row now as he manages to fight his way back to 1 over and will continue to push to find his way under par here in this final round. This is now leaving him just 2 strokes behind Barela with that birdie putt made. There we see Gannon Buhr, D, hole 7, and a par for Adam. We see here hole 8, a 108-meter par 3, very pure tunnel shot in the sense that it requires control of the flight the entire way. Disc selection, speed control, angle control, all required for a perfect tee shot. You want either a forehand hyzer flip with only a late finish to the right, or shaping most naturally for the fairway, a backhand turnover that ends flat or even back to the left. For the upper arm speed players, something like a mid-range if you're going forehand, or just trying to throw smooth, a fairway driver thrown hard will also do the trick.
I love this forehand play from Jesse, realizing that the forehand usually doesn't park the basket but ends up a little bit on the right side. Jesse done exactly so. Gannon looks like he's agreeing with Jesse's mentality on this one. This one even further to the right, but still putting. I mean, these players are good enough that they know they don't need to be parked, and this is something that maybe a lot of amateur disc golfers should also consider. You don't need to go for the pin. You can go for 10 meters on the right and take your safe putt.
AB looking for the late flip and does not find it. A net straight result on that shot will catch him on the early left, but also within striking distance. He is a great step putter. We go to Adam, still our leader at the moment, at least on this card. That forehand never really flipped up to flat. That's what you'd like to see from the forehand. Faded right too early, and AB drops to a knee to manage the ceiling out of the woods. Hearts it. Would you believe it? Anthony Barela from downtown. Elias, show us what we see here.
Incredible nose angle and the hyzer. He's putting so much spin with the wrist at the end of the stroke. And look at that, I think he even went not with a regular putter, but rather with something slightly faster. Looks like potentially an approach disc, even a mid-range, or a premium plastic putter to just get that extra stability, extra glide. Let's see if Gannon can do something similar.
Dialed on the green, our lead card striking from distance. We see that maintained for Adam now. Not one to lose a stroke here on hole 8. Jesse, shortest putt of the bunch for his birdie to close out that star frame.
That is quite incredible by our card. I wish a lot of our viewers could come and try this hole 8 on the Øverås disc golf course. I can promise you it's not easy to hit that gap and get it straight down to the basket. As we're moving on to the final hole of the front 9, hole number 9. A very interesting hole. While the drone is flying through the fairway, I would expect we're not going to see a lot of shots being thrown lower than 15 meters high over the trees on this one. The wind is coming from the tailwind side, so a lot of our players are actually just trying to rip it over the trees, crash some trees late on the fairway and hopefully give themselves not much more than just a pitch approach to the basket. This hole does favor the shape, does favor a forehand flex if you go over the trees, but most players still going for the backhand. Yes, and not being one of those players. Let's see if he gets the full flight out of his disc. And doesn't look like that's the case. He has hit some trees midway through the flight.
That will not be a comfortable spot for him to be. Gannon claims that this shot is horrible. And that is in fact very playable. He's gone long and left of the intended landing zone, but should be able to get to the green. He is only about 50 or so meters away. So even if you find yourself in the inoptimal position, what's most important here on these over-the-top drives is simply progress down the fairway. AB in practice and potentially even earlier rounds has found himself within putting distance, but not this time here in the final round. We go to Adam, opting for the direct inside forehand. Does not get there. He is going to be left to scramble. Now he looks up to go over the top. Very interesting and super uncommon given the dangers that you can find there.
And we're going to have to wait for the next shot to see where he ended up. I'd imagine he does have a shot at par, as we are gonna see a lot of scrambling here. Yes, trying to approach for birdie, and he has actually done a pretty good job. He did have a solid angle from where he was. Compared to Gannon here, he does have a tight gap to hit at the very start. Needs to get this disc moving slightly to the left. And hit the middle tree. Those are the last guardians just before the basket. It's a tricky hole to park just because there are so many obstacles in the way. As Adam, this is on the right side of the fairway. So trying to throw a hyzer. And look at the shot. He's going to be inside the circle.
And if I'm not mistaken, Elias, Adam was actually in the fairway of hole 10, firing back to 9. It's an interesting situation here that players on hole 10, some of them even this weekend, were hit by drives for players on the tee of 9. So there's a lot of conversation. Should hole 9 be altered in some way? A lot of players would think so. Some of them love the hole for its difficulty and unique demands. Gannon, a long look for birdie. Can he secure another putt from deep? And he does. He drains putt after putt from circle 2, seemingly unstoppable on the green despite imperfect tee shots. Incredible putting performance from him to stay in contention here.
Yes, it's a match from circle 2, and that is clean.
Great birdie from his position, Elias.
Yeah, incredible birdie, and very impressive to find himself under par after that disastrous start to the round. He's 1 under now. And Adam, that was dead center. Nothing wrong with the putt. Good pace. I don't think it was even too hard. I think that was just a normal paced putt. That's going to really challenge his mental side going into the back 9.
And to be honest with the viewers at home, we've seen quite a lot of those bounces off the pole throughout the weekend. If you hit it a bit too purely, it sometimes comes back to you. We see the scores now. Gannon Buhr leading the field at 21 under. Adam behind him at 20. Leading the lead card, I should say. The field is in fact well within distance. Some young names right at the top there. And it is an incredibly close battle going into the back 9. Only 9 holes separate us from our 2025 PCS Open champion. We thank you so much for joining us. Elias, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Connor. Thank you, viewers, for being here, and hope to catch you on the back 9.